Welcome to Abekota Grammar School online class. My name is Miss Adekombi A.T. and our subject is government. Last time we discussed on public opinion, and I define opinion as the response of people to the stimulation of things that is happening in their environment, and also public opinion as the sum total of the belief, the attitude, the value of the people for or against government laws or policy. We also discussed on the features, things that are related to public opinion. We said it is being expressed by majority of people. It is the opinion of many that helps the government to determine the next line of action, or if their policy is well accepted or not. I also told you that this public opinion is being expressed by the populace, the people that are governed. Also, public opinion is dynamic in the sense that it is subject to change. What we want today is different from what we want tomorrow. So as we grow older, as we have our level of exposure, the way we interact with people, so it changes with time, thereby making our opinion about a particular thing, about government or anything, it makes it to change. So that makes public opinion dynamic. And we also discuss the formation of public opinion. Who are the people that are connected to this? We have the influential people in the society, whereby they can organize seminar, they can sponsor a debate, they can even post something in daily newspapers just to share their opinion, in which many people can also learn from that and change their opinion for or against the attitude of the government. And we also talk about the organization. Organization goes a long way in influencing public opinion in the sense that each organization will have the NUJ, the NUT, the NLT, and so on. They have ways of making their members change their opinion on a particular government policy. And we rounded up last week on the agents that are involved in the formation of this public opinion, and we listed some. The first one was that public opinion is being expressed by these agents of which is the voluntary organization. Voluntary organization and agency that helps in forming public opinion. And also we talk about our educational background, our educational level. It also helps in forming public opinion. And also we discussed about culture. Our culture goes a long way. Our language, our dressing, our tradition, and all sorts helps in the formation of our ideas about a particular thing. And also it comes to the family. Family, which is the first school. Family is the first home, is our home that we learn what our parents, how they interact, how they talk, the way they do, it shapes our level of opinion. And also the school. Whenever you come to school, the kind of learning you will receive will help a long way in determining the type of opinion. So that was what we discussed last week. And I asked you to work on it, pick a government textbook of senior secondary school to read on the importance of public opinion, which we're going to discuss today. And I believe you have done something on that, which will also help your learning today. Now, the objective for today, at the end of this class, you should be able to understand the importance of public opinion that we're talking about. And also, you should be able to know the other side of it. It is good, and at the same time, it has its own disadvantages. And also, how can public opinion be encouraged? How can it be increased? How can people be willing to share their opinion without anyone drawing them back at? Even if I share my opinion, hope the government will work on it. So how it can be increased and encouraged, we're going to discuss that in this class. So for today, the importance of public opinion. And the first point there is that it helps to check the wrong use of power. Yes, it checks check the wrong use of power. Public opinion helps in checking the wrong use of power. This is a democratic society whereby there's checks and balances. There is a way the populace check the activities of the government. Don't forget I told you, government is an agreement between the ruler and the ruled. So there will always be reaction from the people you are directing. So in a democratic organization, if a government is trespassing or trampling upon human rights or going against or violating the human rights, this public opinion can help, because it can be something can be organized for, or the public opinion can be organized against such government that this policy is not working for us. We are not going to accept it. So it helps in a very long way in checking the wrong use of power, because this is a democratic organization. Everybody will have something to say. Now to the second one. It is a form of political participation. Public opinion is a form of political participation. Yes. Political participation, what do I mean by that? Most people believe that it is only during election or when it is about election that people tend to proclaim that this political party. No. Public opinion can help. It's not only when the election is coming that we can voice out, that we can say our mind, not only during election. Public opinion can be conducted to discuss something that will favor us. Whenever there is going to be constitutional amendments or there is going to be a very crucial something, a public opinion can be conducted. There may be a public gathering whereby people come together and say something that will also help the government in achieving their aim. So it's a form of political participation whereby people can contribute to the positivity of the government. And number 3 says it helps to determine legitimacy. Yes. What do you understand by legitimacy? When you're doing something in a legal way, when you're doing something that is lawful. So one of the importance of public opinion is that it helps in determining the legitimacy of a particular government. Public opinion is an indicator for a responsible government that, okay, am I doing well? Am I doing bad? How has the feedback from people, how has it helped to determine if what I'm doing is lawful or not? So it helps a regime to understand, to know their position, to know where they belong, if truly they are following democratic way or the other way around. So it helps a lot. And that takes us to the fourth one, which is the feedback. Yes. Government has given out their policy that this is what we want to do. But if the populace did not accept it, it is through this public opinion that they can understand that, okay, this policy is not going to work for these people, or it's going to work for this set of people, it's not going to work for this particular people. So this is it assists a government, it assists in a lot of ways to know the faulty areas, to know their areas of strength, and to also know their areas of weakness. Because when they voice out, you will know if you are being supported or not. So it serves as a feedback. We can remember during President Obasanjo's regime, former president, he organized a kind of press conference, press meeting, whereby the press can go out and seek opinion from different people, and everyone will come together. They will ask their question. Everybody is free to express themselves. So it's a feedback. It's a feedback. Okay. What have I done in the last year, in the last 1 year, in the last 2 years? How has it benefited the populace? So in this case, it serves as a feedback. Also, the fifth one is that it helps to know the place of support. Yes. Public opinion of support, the degree of electoral support, or the degree of electoral support enjoyed by a candidate or enjoyed by a particular party, either party D or party M, the degree of support that through election helps a lot of way. Okay, I think these people prefer party M than party S, so it helps the government to know the level they have, to know their place of support. If really 70% want us and 30% want the other party, or it's 50-50, it helps them to know. So these are the merits of public opinion. It helps to check the wrong use of power, forms of political participation. It helps to determine legitimacy, and it gives feedback to the government, and the government in power will also know their place of support. They will know if truly the people want them or not. So these are the importance. So let's move to the disadvantages of the public opinion. So disadvantages of public opinion. Number one, it is prone to manipulation. Public opinion is very prone to manipulation because the government concerned, it can be used against the government to the people, and also from the people against the government, vice versa. People can use the policy or the laws of the government to stand against them, and also the government as well can use their policy to stand against government, depending on the level on ground. Because when a regime is not well accepted, when they give out policy, there are ways in which people can counter that kind of policy through public opinion. So through that, it can be manipulated. It can send a wrong signal to the government in power, and also the government in power as well. It can send a wrong signal from the government in power back to the people they are governing. And the second one is that it can be overtaken. It can be overtaken by events. If government is working on something and they're about to carry it out, they seek the people's opinion concerning that matter. While they were doing that, something can come up, just as we have it now. A lot of things government is having on ground now, but because of the pandemic, a lot of things has to be just put on hold to face that emergency stuff that we are treating now. So a sudden event can just come in that will disorganize the line, or that will not make the government to work on the line the people want. So public opinion can be overtaken anytime by events. Number three is that it can be misleading. What do you understand by it can be misleading? Sometimes the government might want to do something. You know, when you're starting something from scratch, people might not understand what you want to bring out from it. And before you know it, everybody will start complaining, issues here and there. Everybody will start giving out their opinion concerning that thing. So it can be misleading in the sense that the government might have something in mind to carry out, and that might take about 2 to 3 years before you can really get what they mean. Meanwhile, there's public outcry already that you are not doing this, you are not doing that. So it makes the government, it makes the populace to bring faulty mind, or it makes him to feel that he's not doing the right thing to the populace. Meanwhile, what he has in mind must be different entirely, or it will favor the populace at the end of the day. But because they are not seeing the results as at that very time, it brings faults to the activities of such governments. It can be misleading. Okay, where do I go? Where do I follow? These people are bringing this opinion, these one are bringing this opinion. Meanwhile, I have my own, that when this thing generates it will favor everybody. But it can mislead the government in power in the sense that when people are bringing fault out of what the government is doing, meanwhile the government has a very better plan, even more than what people are agitating for. And also, conservatism. Public opinion is said to be conservative in the sense that these public analysts, in order to remain in their job or in order to maintain their status quo, they tend to send wrong signal. They tend to bring false declaration about a particular government just because they want to stay in power. Either they want the people to accept them or they want the government to accept them. So either way, they tend to manipulate things. So because they want to remain in their job, so they can send false signal, hearing different things from people and giving another feedback to the government. Since they are the middlemen, they are the analysts, they are the one in the middle, they are the one working. So they tend to send wrong signal to the government. So it can be conservative. The fifth one is that there is multiplicity of opinion. Yes, multiplicity of opinion. We come from different backgrounds, we come from different culture, different tribe, so therefore our opinion can never be the same. So different ideas, so it cannot make the government to even understand what we want, what the people want directly, because people from this side might be saying they want A and B. From this side, they're saying they want B and C. So we have different, what I want is different from what you want. So it's multiplicity of opinion. Governments cannot just face and start satisfying everyone individually. Okay, what do you want? We're going to do it. What do you want? We're going to do it. So it's multiplicity of opinion. So it doesn't make the government to think straight that who do we satisfy first? Where do we go? How do we even recognize the real problem in the society? Because of the multiplicity of opinion, the people in this area can want good road, whereby this one want electricity. So a lot of opinions from different people will not make the government to think straight because of multiplicity of opinion. Our opinion is not the same because we come from different backgrounds. Our social interaction, the kind of social interaction we keep is totally different. So because of this, it is too multiple, thereby not making the government to think straight. And the next one says that only the enlightened citizens usually participate. Yes, the enlightened citizens usually participate. We have a lot of illiterates in the society that don't even have enough access. They don't have access to the government, not to talk of saying their ideas to people that, okay, this is what I want. So, but for those that are enlightened, for the literates in the society, they know their rights. They know when government is not working in line with what is in the constitution. So they can come out. But let's talk about the illiterate people in the village that doesn't even know. Even when they listen to radio, there is no network to call to share their opinion on that particular matter. So it's a disadvantage to the other side, to the illiterate in the society, because their opinion will not be heard. They can just be sharing it in their closet. There is no way the government can understand their plight. So it is only those that are enlightened in the society that can share their opinion. And meanwhile, those illiterate too, they have something there, they have something in mind to share to the government, but because they are not enlightened, there is no way they don't have access to the internet. Some don't even have television to listen to the news and all that. They don't have a good phone to browse and share their ideas or to pinpoint their own views. So it is only for the enlightened one in the society that can enjoy this. And when they are not politically conscious, yes, when they don't understand the meaning of politics, how will they be able to voice out, how will they be able to say their mind concerning the government's activities? And the government will even find it hard to understand the popular view and sectional interest. We can have popular view, but you know, we have like in Ogun State, we have the Remo, we have the Egba, we have the Yewa, like that. And the Remo wants a particular thing, the Egbas wants another thing. In this case, whereby only the enlightened citizen that will be able to speak out their mind, it will not help the government to understand which one is the popular view or it is sectional view. So these 6 points are the disadvantages of public opinion. Prone to manipulation, can be overtaken by events, it can be misleading, it can be conservative, multiplicity of opinion, and enlightened citizens usually participate. So these are the demerits. Now, how can we increase public opinion in Nigeria? How can we encourage people to bring out their ideas that will help the government and that will help the people? So how to increase public opinion in Nigeria? So I'm going to give you a few points on that before we round up for today. How to improve public opinion? How can it be improved? Because it's up government in a lot of ways to determine what the people want. Yes, in Nigeria, how to improve public opinion in Nigeria. It has been discovered that public opinion is not common in West Africa simply because there is high level of illiteracy. We have a lot of tribal, the language you speak is different, people are not politically conscious, ignorance of people, thereby not making people to voice out whatever they want. So the first way in which this public opinion can be improved is increased literacy. Yes. A situation whereby 40% of the populace are not well educated. How do we encourage them to speak out their mind? How do we help them to partake in the opinion? So the literacy level should be increased. It should be increased in the sense that there might be adult schools whereby people can learn, adult literacy centers, whereby those that don't have idea how to read and write can learn how to do something. They will be politically encouraged and educated on the constitution and how the government is being governed. Also, the existing literacy school should have enough facilities. A secondary school should have enough ICTs. So that each student will have access to the internet, they can operate, they can Google, they can search, they can do a lot of things. So the existing ones should be equipped with necessary equipment, and also there should be establishments of adult school. Then another one is press freedom. Press freedom. The government should not manipulate the affairs of the press, because this press we're talking about the radio, the television, the internet, and so on. So they are the ones that entertain, they are the ones that educate people. So they should be encouraged. They should be free to express their mind. The mind, whatever they receive from the public to the government, they should not have that fear that, how am I going to deliver? How am I going to give the report to the government when they feel like that? The press should be free. And there also should be an information bank. Information bank, yes. And this is peculiar to different sections. In my home area, I can decide that my own information, I want to be getting it through internet. Some, they want television. Some, they are okay with radio. So all these mass media should be well equipped that everyone from every corner, wherever they are staying, they'll be able to receive information. So information bank should be established everywhere, whereby the head can communicate even to the lowest one in the society. And also freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. This goes a very long way, because I will not have this fear that what if I say this thing, the government will feel somehow? What if I say this thing, I'll be arrested? Everyone should be free to say whatever they feel about a particular government. And the fifth one is political party. There shouldn't be, if you want to encourage public opinion, the country should not be a one-party system. Because if it is a one-party system, it will not help people to voice out. So there should be enough political parties whereby people can join and express themselves. So for today, this is where I'm going to stop. And I believe you have learned something on the importance of public opinion, the disadvantages of public opinion, and how it can be improved in Nigeria. So next class, I want us to read on public administration. Next class, public administration, where we are going to discuss public service, public service commission. This is where I'm going to start from. So I will encourage us to read on this public service. So we're going to discuss the public service commission and also the public corporation. So next class, we are going to discuss that. So till I come your way next time, take care of yourself and stay safe. Bye.